Hi, I'm Candace. This is Fitness and Harmony's yoga for artistic flow. So gather your props, put on some comfy clothes, and join me on the mat. What we're going to talk about today is really when you're on the mat, when you're not on the mat. We're going to meet our body where it is and find a flow. So life is happening within us and outside of us all the time, whether we are participating in that flow or not. So we can talk about the weather, we talk about things that are happening in the world, but they're going to go on whether we participate in them or not. So our body is always got this prana. That's the intelligent life that flows through us. So we want to find opportunities to manage or direct the change, direct the flow. So we're going to move the body this way and that, and I invite you and I welcome you to cultivate a deep sense of what does this do in my body and how is this feeling? And if I have to move a quarter inch this way, is that going to be better? So I want to give you the opportunity to find your own personal flow within the construct of this class. Let's sit up tall to the front of this mat or whatever it is you're sitting on, if you're sitting on something, and then rock the pelvis forward and back just a few times to get a little bit of space in the crease there of the hip. Then let the pelvis sit upright, a little bit tipped forward, and grow the spine up tall. Turn your head to the left and to the right a few times so that you can align the crown of the head over the top of the spine. Come back to center, pull the shoulders onto the back, and then pull both shoulders down vigorously. Let your hands relax down onto your thighs. Even out the shoulders, the chest, the square of the hips and the shoulders, and then close your eyes. I want to invite you now to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your nose. Breathe in. Breathe out. I want you to find a way to fully arrive here in your practice. So let everything, including my voice, blend into this artistic flow of participating more fully with a deep feeling state inside. So all we're doing is inhaling and exhaling, feeling the breath gently wave itself into your body, into your lungs, and out. Whether your natural inclination to react to stress is to fight, to fly or run, or to freeze. Stress is a natural part of your mind-body. So as I'm inviting you to find a deep connection to a feeling state hidden below the outer structures of the body, begin to warm up the media. So with art, I talk about paint or music or carving or sculpting. Whether your media is words or paint or stone or threads, begin to warm up that media, the breath. 3 slow breaths begin to engage the belly. I have to give you a little warning about today's practice. We're going to stir the belly. So if you have an upset stomach, or if you tend to get like dizzy or nauseated sometimes, I want you to go really slow, and I'm going to always give you an alternate action. 1 more breath. Untie the knots that are holding your shoulders up, and then open your eyes. We're going to start out coming into child's pose. So always move slowly and patiently. If you're using props, take your time and kind of get them right. So child's pose is when you sit your hips back kind of onto your heels. Some people stretch their arms forward, some people bring their arms a little back, some people stack their arms, some people bring their arms down and let their head collapse into the floor. So I just invite you and welcome you to cultivate this deep learning state here and now. Inhale. When you exhale, ujjayi, that means vibrate air particles in your throat like a whisper. Whether you're participating in this life process, in this artistic flow, or you're not, it's okay. But our goal is to learn ways to carve out ways to come to the game, to come to this flow that's always here. So the practice isn't this thing we're doing on the mat today. The practice is your attention to loosen and widen the hose of creativity, whatever your source of abundance is. 3 slow breaths. We're going to stay here a little bit longer. Just increase your presence to this deep learning state. So where you are now, walk the arms a little bit forward and then practice turning your head left and right. So your forehead might still be on the floor, or you might have come up a little, because I want you to honor the neck, the shoulders, and the connection between the neck and the shoulders might not be a good relationship. Maybe circle your face around like your nose is drawing a circle on the floor. But again, honoring the relationship between the muscles and the joints and the deep connective tissue in the body. Come up a little bit. So you're sort of rising halfway up. What I want you to do is take one arm and thread it across your body so the back of your hand is on the floor, and then push your back of your hand down into the floor. So with resistance, push down, activating this shoulder. Now with this other hand, walk it in a little bit and push so that you twist the spine. So one shoulder rises up and one drops down. Keep that pushing of the lower arm. So this is the churning of the belly I was talking about. When we start moving and twisting the lumbar, the low back, and then the internal organs, the contents of the internal organs start to move. So you'll feel that. Exhale, release. Let's switch to the other arm. So one hand is pushing, the other arm threads through. Push the back of the arm. Now, it's not necessary to come all the way down. You might want to, but I'm not going to today. I'm going to just push my arm or the back of this hand into the floor hard to activate the shoulder and the neck muscles. You can push really hard with this other hand and twist and turn, almost like your chest is turning to the sky. Meet your body in the internal flow and the dance. So a dance is another expression of art. Walk both hands forward. Then we're going to lower all the way down. So do that safely while engaging the abdominals. I'm going to kick my blanket. Reach the arms overhead. Now, when I say reach, once again, I want you to honor the neck and the shoulders and their relationship. Some arms don't go all the way up like Superman. Some arms stay back, and that feels safe. Widen your knees a little bit. Take the feet a little bit out to the edges of their mat. Then just rock your heels side to side. So you're twisting the leg bones. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the heels to center. Really tuck those feet under, those toe bones under. And push your feet into the floor hard. So we're really stretching the fascia, the connective tissue. Inhale, exhale. Kind of keep your nose down. 2 more times. Exhale. Maybe lift your head just a little bit, lengthening from your heart up to the back of your skull. You're lengthening that. It's a nice long. Reach one arm and turn the palm face in like you're going to shake somebody's hand. Lift that arm and the shoulder up a little bit and brace the abdominals. Now the opposite leg, I guess it would be your left if that was your right arm, lift that one up a little bit and then circle this back heel, this back foot around and around. Circle it the other way. All right, this is my problem foot. So boy, I feel a lot of things clicking and popping and snapping. Flex the foot and hold. Keep the head kind of down. You're not really turning your head up or in any direction. Then release everything down. Then just from here with your head down, bend and straighten your knees. So bring the heels into the glutes and stretch the legs out. Pull the heels in and out. We're just bending knees. 3, 2, notice your reaction. All of our little exercises, flex the knees and hold, and then walk the legs. Lift one leg, then the other. Lift and lift. Whether your reaction to stress, so we're putting stress on the body. Whether your reaction is to fight, like, no, I don't want to do this, to kind of freeze up, I'm still not going to do it, or to fly, I'm going to run away, turn the computer off and leave. Let the legs down. Let's do the other arm. Stretch the other arm. If it does, turn the palm face and lift the arm and the shoulder up a little bit. Now we're using our back muscles to lift you up. Your opposite leg, if this is your left arm, then your right leg lifts up and circle that foot around. Okay, now this foot for me, nothing. I don't feel anything there. So keep increasing your connection to a deep learning state. So what is my ankle trying to teach me? Go the other way with the ankle. And we're kind of always keep your head down, never really creasing the back of your neck. Flex the foot and hold, and then put everything down. Push back into child's pose. Keep the chest broad and the elbows back. Just a breath in here. Then come up to hands and knees. Let's do kind of the same thing. Reach the right arm forward with the palm facing in, keeping the shoulder pulled down and back. Then extend the left leg back. Now pull the elbow in towards the knee and hold. If they touch, push them into each other. If they don't, that's okay. Another breath. And then stretch out long. So point that back toe. Pull this right shoulder down towards the hip. And then bring the arms down. Arm and leg. Let's go the other side. Left arm reaches forward, palm faces in. Lift the right leg, stretch it back. Point the toe. Keep both shoulders square. Try to stay level and even. As you exhale now, elbow pulls in and the knee. Maybe they meet and they push. Keep cultivating this deep learning state. That there's an expansion and contraction in the universe and in you. Extend out and hold. There's the expansion. And then come down. I'm going to invite you to move to downward dog or stay right where you are because we're coming right back down. 3 breaths until we go back into the same little series we did just a moment ago. Remember, the ujjayi is the waves. It's like you're catching a wave. You're catching a wave that already exists. Exhale, come back down. In fact, float your way all the way down to the belly. How you get there is really a manifestation of your creative flow, right? How did you come down there? As long as it was safe, it's okay. That's the only point here. Remember, arms either reach way up overhead because they can, or they're a little bit further back. Lift the right arm, lift the left leg. So there's the expansion. 2 more breaths expanding. You're increasing and directing energy and flow, just like you would be increasing and directing music, and bring the arm and leg down. Keeping the head down, go to the other side. So left arm and right leg, lift up and hold. This is really churning up prana, or what we call in yoga, kundalini. Exhale all the way down. Push back to child's pose. Do be concerned that the way you're getting back into child's pose braces the core and supports the spine. Otherwise, your spine would be like a hammock, and just kind of floating and cracking and compressing. So a certain amount of contraction is good, but compression is not. 1 more breath. Maybe turn your head left and right. Come back up to hands and knees. Align from the crown of the head to the tail. Reach the left arm forward, reach the right leg back. Remember, the hand and the arm is spiraled in. Contract, that is, pull the elbow to the knee and hold. Give that a push. And then lengthen out long and hold. Good. And bring the arm and leg down. Reset, resettle. Breathe in, breathe out. Open up the front of the chest. So don't let the front of the chest permanently come into this tightness. Right arm forward, left leg back. There's the expansion. As you exhale, draw the elbow to the knee. Here's the contraction. So whether you're part of this expanding and contracting cycle of the body and the universe, it's still happening. Now expand, so reach the arm and the leg in opposing directions and feel the line of energy lengthen. And then come down. I invite you to move to downward dog or stay here. Remember I said I want you to find ways to meet yourself, meet your body. So if you're like me and you tend to get really dizzy all the time, maybe downward dog's a little bit too much upside down. I invite you to come down and onto your belly. Remember, how you get there is your artistic flow. But whatever you're doing, I want you to direct it. So just like if you were writing or painting, right, it wouldn't be any good if you did it all haphazardly and all the notes at the same time. Come to a mini cobra stretch. So I'm going to say bring your hands right above kind of your shoulders. Push the hands down. Now turn the tops of the feet down into the floor and push the tops of the feet down into the floor. Now widen the collarbone, so pull the front edge of the shoulders out. As you exhale, brace. So the contraction is happening in the abdominals here. It's just like if we were to control a paintbrush or, we're playing piano. If I knew how to play piano, I would have to control my hands and my fingers and where they're going. I would know that there's a steady foundation before I branch out into the more, flourish. Come down. Widen the legs a little bit. Keep strength in the low back. Reach the arms forward. Lift one arm up in its opposite leg and hold. Give that another breath. Keep directing the flow of prana. Remember, that's intelligent force. And down. Switch to the other side. Lift and hold. Where is there tension? What are you learning? Another breath. And release down. Make your way back into child's pose. Let's pause here for about 4 or 5 breath cycles. Settle your attention on the gentleness of the breath. The breath now is restoring health. All of those bird dogs and arm leg lifts and cobras, they stirred up prana. They stirred up. They awakened. They opened up the artist tool bench. But now watch how the breath comes in and gently resets the patterns. It's like a natural organic growth pattern that's going to happen again, whether you are participating or not. So co-create. Be a co-creator with the life force within you. I invite you up to hands and knees. Brace the abdominals. Brace the abdominals. You can't say that one enough. Turn the toes under, then lift up to downward dog. So from downward dog this time, we're going someplace else. Pause to brighten up the back of your legs. Maybe you didn't get there last time. Maybe you're still not there. I want to remind you that downward dog is not about putting the heels down. I almost never say put your heels down or even try. What I do say is lift your hips up, even if that lifts your heels. I'd rather you lift your hips up and push them back. I want to keep all parts of your body alive and receptive, not just stretch them into submission. So here we go. This one's going to be different. Try taking your right leg, crossing it over towards the left edge of your mat. Now my foot's still sort of on the floor. Then lean your hips a little bit to the right. Okay, I just put a lot of pressure on my arms and my hands, so if I can't sustain my body weight here, I probably wouldn't do it so far. I'd keep this right foot more to the center of the mat. But of course, it's a foot forward. Then put that right foot down so you can put body weight on it. And then take your left foot, that's the one that's now behind you, and step it in front and across over to the right edge of the mat, or not so far. Right? Just do what you can do. So now most of your body weight should be on, feet and not hands. So this one isn't as reckless, I guess. Shift the hips a little left. So I want you to think about that runway walk that the models do. Now put your weight on your left foot, that's the one in front, And same thing, take your right foot up, cross it in front and a little bit over. I run out of space here, but if you have room for another step, take another step. But then walk both feet together and even until you're in a forward fold. So that was just a really funky way to step forward slowly and to get some prana into the outer hips. Bend the knees, bring your hands to your knees. Now pushing, flatten your back. We're going to hold this one for a while. So I want you to think about a tabletop. I also want you to think about like your coffee table or a couch. They're about that level, about 2-3 feet off the ground. So I have a couple of stacks of blocks here. That would be another option because I happen to have a couple of stacks of blocks. Most people don't, I understand. But your knees are there. There's another option to push. Push with your hands into whatever it is, whether it's a coffee table or whatever you've got there. Now lengthen your spine. So as the crown of your head is moving forward, push your hips backward, almost like you're going to lean back. You have another chair behind you, so I guess you're between the coffee table and the chair. Then, if your abs are strong enough, shoot your hands back, kind of like you're diving, I guess. You're diving your head first. I don't know why you would do that. But the fingers there are nice and open and splayed because I want you to gain control of moving these extremities. That would be hands and feet in this case. So hips and hands are shooting backward. The crown of the head is shooting forward. And the abdominals are doing the hard work of bracing. This should be a lot of work. We're really working in the low back and the middle of the waist today. And 1. So you could replace your hands. That's a safe thing to do. Bend your knees, keep the spine straight, and then shoot all the way up into standing. I'm going to move my blocks again. So move all the way up and into standing. Good. I want you to lift one leg, and the toe sort of stays near the floor, but then draw circles with just your toe. So you're stirring around. All right, so when I said carve out time and space to find practice, like I could be sitting on my couch, stir the other way. And I could do this next little series. This works the ankles and the feet, and it enlivens and directs the flow of prana to my feet, which I've been ignoring. Part of one of the reasons it's injured, right? I've been ignoring what it needed. Then I want you to rock your foot side to side so the sole of your foot turns left and right or turns in and out. This should feel hard and difficult. So hold on to your chair that's next to you. Hold on to your kitchen counter while you're waiting for the coffee to brew, while you're waiting for the soup. Work on this. Then point and flex. Now, I want you to put the front of your foot down. You're still standing on this other leg. And then, I don't know if you can see, you're going to crawl by crunching your toes and then kind of put your foot down. So your toes go forward, they grab on, they crunch, and they drag the rest of your foot. Like an inchworm, I guess. Toes, crunch, pull. Toes, you got that? Crunch, pull. So you're inchworming your foot forward. Go, I don't know, until you've got a foot or two between these 2 feet. That's a measurement of a foot, not the thing on the bottom of your leg. And then hold. Now lean forward into this front foot and just for a second analyze whether you're on the inner, outer, front, or back of that foot. Then evenly distribute the body weight. So just like if I were teaching you how to use a pencil or a crayon or something, and there'd be an amount of pressure that was right and an amount of pressure that wouldn't be so nice, find that right amount of pressure. Then shift onto that foot and step the other leg back into almost a high lunge. We're not really front to back. And then the back foot. Drop the heel down and up. Down and up. All right, this one's got more pressure on it than the other one did, so you're feeling that. A few more times, down and up. Hold the heel up. Now try rocking your pelvis backwards. So pelvis is this top rim, tips back, the bottom goes forward. And hold that. So within this weird form, whatever this is we're doing, there's a flow of energy. There's a creative, powerful change happening. It might be just one muscle, or at least that's what you're paying attention to, but it might be many muscles, like a whole kaleidoscope, a cascade of effect. One more breath. And then step forward. Let's go to this other leg. So the one that just stepped forward, lift it up, point the toe, and circle the ankle around. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm really much more aware of the foot that I'm standing on this time. Go the other way. It could be that that's my patient foot, but it could be that I just woke it up. So we're uncircling the other way, settling your attention to a deep learning state. What can I learn from this ankle? Now take the foot and rock the sole of the foot in and out. In and out. I'll remind you again, this is something that you can do when you're doing something else. So carving out time to solve, that problem that I don't have time for myself. Challenge that. Do I have time? Then point and flex. Be here now. So don't just race your way through. Don't get in a pattern of just moving these joints around mindlessly. Then put that foot down. Here's where we crawl forward. Remember, the toes crunch, dragging the back of the foot forward, and then you lift the toes and they step forward. Crunch, pull, step, crunch, pull, step, crunch, pull, step, and hold. Shift onto that foot and for a moment analyze the inner and outer edges, the front, the back, even the instep in the center. So there should be an aliveness. Shift forward and then step this other leg back, not quite full into high lunge, but almost there. 4 feet maybe. And then this back heel goes up and down. Keep redistributing how much pressure and how much weight is on the front foot or the back foot. Imagine I'm not going to tell you what you should be doing. Just analyze what you are doing and then be the agent of change. I'm going to choose which foot. And for whatever reason, I like that. I want to work that foot. I don't want to work that other foot. Whatever your reason is. Lift up and hold. There it goes. Rock the pelvis backwards, so that's the bottom rim of the pelvis forward, the top rim back, and hold. Take a couple of kind of deep cleansing mind-body breaths. So anything that you've just grabbed onto, like maybe your feet got all crunchy from doing that, you have the opportunity to decide, I'm going to put that down now. And I'm going to work on this expansion and the contraction. Remember, that's always going on, whether you're participating or not. One more breath. And then step forward. I'm going to flow. We're going to go all the way down and all the way up. So meet me back up here. Inhale up, forward flow, fold into something like a plank pose artistically and creatively. Come all the way down to the belly, but make sure that your abdominals are controlling this motion. Come into a mini cobra, stretch tops of the feet, push down, chest lifts up and spreads out. And then come down. Reach the arms forward, lift one arm and the opposite leg. Another breath. And come down. With your next breath, other arm, other leg. This is the expansion. So keep lengthening the low back. And release down. Walk your hands back. Push back to child's pose. Turn your head left and right. Circle or nod your head around. And the other way. Come up into hands and knees, all fours. Move into downward dog. Remember, lifting your hips up and being the back of your thighs. Be the back of your thighs. Put that your attention in brightening and opening the skin there. Here we go. We're going to start with the left leg. Cross the left over to the right. Maybe lean the hips left. Then shift your weight onto that left foot. That's the one in front. Then cross your right leg over towards the left. Maybe lean the hips right. Again, so zigzag the feet forward and slowly make your way. Take as long as you want. Just step and walk forward. And then organize your feet so that they're next to each other. Brace your abdominals. Walk your hands up to your coffee table or your knees. Suck the belly in. Come halfway up. Make the body flat. Reach the arms back. Shooting the arms back. Push the hips a little further back. Lengthen the neck forward. 2 more breaths. This is expansion. We're expanding. It's like we're rearranging, the notes so we can make a new song. If your abs are strong and your back feels fine, come all the way up by bending the knees. Otherwise, push off the knees and support yourself as you crawl up. So whatever the first leg was, if you remember, lift that leg and spin the toe around the other way. Flex and point. Step this foot a little bit behind you. Flip the foot so the top of the toes push down into the floor. Maybe even lean a little bit back into that back foot. We worked the bottom of the foot with the crawling. And now we're sort of going the other way. Then do take this back leg and step all the way back into high lunge. This is that big one. Align. Now land the back heel by turning. Turn open into warrior 2. Sink down and hold. Level the shoulders, level the hips. One more breath. Again, this is an expanding pose. Take up more and more space. Challenge. I can't do a warrior pose. Yes, you can. We're going to spin to the front, and as you do that, turn your back leg so you come onto the ball of the back foot. Now turn your upper body to the other direction. So spin all the way. I guess that's 180 degrees at best. Bend this front knee so we're still in a kind of a twisted warrior pose. Now do sort of a cartwheel and bring this front hand down to the knee, down to a block, maybe to the floor. All right, this pose, this revolved extended angle pose is really the granddaddy of twisting the internal organs there. This is the one. When I need movement in my internal lower organs, this is a pose you will see me doing. 2 more breaths. It's called revolved extended angle pose. Push off the knee or the floor and come up, and then step forward into Tadasana. Pause to realign the chakras. All right, the chakras are just exchange points between all of these different flows of energy. Again, I think of chakras as the color pots, colors and how they mix and how they move. You may think of the chakras as the 7 notes of a scale, a chromatic scale, however you want to think of it. But whatever you do, let the gentle breath come back in. It's a natural, organic thing, and put you back together. When you're ready now, let's lift the other foot up, circle the toe around, and the other way. Point and flex. Okay, this is what we do. we take the leg behind, turn the top of the foot or the top of the toes into the floor, push down, maybe lean a little bit down so you feel this deep learning. That's what that is. You know, deep learning, right? Because it's uncomfortable. So the title today was Brave the Uncomfortable. This is uncomfortable. I don't want to stretch the top of these toes here. One more breath. Then lift this back leg. Here's where we step back into high lunge. So step all the way back, pause, regain your balance, spin the back leg, turn the heel into the floor, turn the hips, the chest, and the shoulders, warrior two. Blade the body. Energize and awaken the flow of prana, the intelligent force in the legs. You're just getting out of your way. That's all you're doing. 2. Now we're going to spin. So turn towards the front. As you do that, your back leg spins. You come to the top of those back toes. Then keep spinning the upper body. Remember, rebend this front knee. I do a really good job of standing up in that process. So revolved or spun, warrior two. We did a lot of crisscrossing the midline today. That really makes your mind and your body, kind of rethink everything it knows. When you're ready, do that cartwheel all the way forward and down, maybe hand to knee, maybe hand to block. Try reblading. Most of us don't have as much mobility to twist all the way. So don't do this number where you just take the arm back and behind you. Leave the arm level with whatever the chest and the shoulder are doing. Hold on to that. Sustain the breath. Remember, you're co-creating the flow in the form, the waves. You're co-creating. The waves are there anyway. One more breath. We're on our way back down. Here we go. Turn to the front. Step back to downward dog. So re-land the hands and step back. 3 cleansing, sounding off breaths. 2 hum. Open and close the jaw. Open and close the jaw. Open and close the jaw. Now leave the jaw soft. Not fully closed, but not really hanging open either. Just soft. Then come all the way down. Make your way around to a seated pose. We'll bring the soles of the feet together for a moment. Hold on to those feet and then pull the chest forward. When you're ready, let the head hang and let the shoulders soften. This pose in yoga is called cobbler's pose, like you're working on your shoes, right? That's what a cobbler. But this pose really represents a good circle. We're coming back. We're coming back to nourishing. All of those external poses we did, the warriors and the cobras, they were to open up the hose. They were to, so the hose can now be used, right? There's a flow through it. But now we're coming back in to nourish, to absorb. So allow the breath and all the points that need to be softened here. Inner thighs, shoulders, neck, back. 2. Maybe squeeze your feet. Maybe pinch the toes. And then come up. Let's make our way all the way down to the back. And when you're ready, move into Shavasana. You want to twist first. So we're a big circle. We started out with me inviting you to find the opportunity to carve out, to figure out how you're going to get here. And then here we are now. I'm asking you to come into Shavasana, into a body. Let the body just float down. And I'm asking you to find a way, find an opportunity to to just be the body. Allow the back and the abdominals to release. Encourage a flow, a conscious state of awareness. Awareness of the self. Shift your focus to an inner state of feeling. Good. I want you to imagine the ocean, the waves, the rejuvenating waters of life itself. I want you to create in your mind, picture all the nourishing things in your life. People we are reconnecting with, nature, the objects, things of beauty, the universe itself. Get out of the way of the connection between your highest self, your innate nature, and this thing we call the universe that is not separate. Sustain that connection. I am those things that nourish me. Expand the ribs as you inhale. Let them float. Again. Make your way onto your side. Slowly roll and then push and rock all the way up. Zigzag your way from the base, from this foundation, this thing you've carved out, all the way up to the crown of the head, making that entryway open. Bring the palms together, funnel the thumbs into the heart. Inhale as you circle and lift up. Expand. Exhale as you contract, as you pull in, and you become that piece of art. I honor you there. Namaste.